Hello everyone, my name is Doomfish, and in today's video I'm going to show you how you can make a automatic AFK creeper farm in Minecraft. So this design is pretty simple. It's a tall stack of spawning platforms with alternating water, controlled by a clock up here at the top. And so the creepers get pushed down, and they die on top of those hoppers, and as you can see, all the drops are going to end up in these chests right here. This farm can produce over 450 gunpowder per minute, or per hour, excuse me, and so, in an AFK session that lasts maybe overnight on your server, maybe 12 hours, you can easily fill up a double chest full of gunpowder. So let's show you what you're going to need to build this farm. So here's everything you're going to need. Keep in mind that there are some 18 stacks of trapdoors in my inventory, and those count as well. I just couldn't fit it all in one chest here. But this is everything you're going to need, and some of these materials, like these slabs and the trapdoors mostly, will vary depending on how many layers you decide to build, but this is for the full 8-layer farm. First up, go ahead and place down 10 temporary blocks up like so, and then go ahead and place down 5 hoppers facing into that block right there, and then 2 hoppers on each side facing in, making a 5x5 square of hoppers all pointing into the same specific block, which is this one right here. Then we can break all of these blocks right here, and then go ahead and place down a chest in front of this hopper where it points out, place down 4 chests underneath that, make them all double chests by placing 1 chest to the right, and then go ahead and place a hopper behind each of these chests that are in the middle, or the first chest that we place down, and it should look something like that when you're finished. Then, in the middle of your 5x5 square of hoppers right here, place down 25 blocks straight up like so. And these are all going to be temporary, so you'll get rid of them later. Then place down a block on top, a block to the right, break this first block, put a slab down, make sure it's on the top part of the block, and break this block to the right. Then, in each of the directions, we're going to place down 10 slabs coming out of that slab, just like so. And then we're going to fill in the corners here, just so we get a little diamond shape, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. And there we go, it should look something like this, where we have almost a square pattern from this angle, but if we line ourselves up with the block, we can see it looks something like that. Now on the edges, what you're going to want to go ahead and do is place a block like so, break the bottom block, and do this all the way around the R shape here. And now that that's done, we're going to basically do the whole thing again on another layer, like so. So we're going to move up one, and do the same thing we just did, except this time, when we're placing these blocks, we're also going to place a slab on the top part of the blocks, like so. And there we go. Here's what our shape looks like now. So the next step is to go ahead on these blocks right here, go ahead and place down water on every single one of these blocks. So you feel free to go ahead and make a water source somewhere else, like on top of this build, and use that temporarily so we can fill in just these side boxes right here. And there we go. We should see all the water streams point to this one central little area here. So go ahead and break that area out, all the blocks that don't have water on top of them. Then we can go ahead and get rid of this area as well. And you'll also notice that there is some dark spots down here where these mobs can spawn. Go ahead and you can take some torches and place them underneath this area if you want, just to help from some of the mob spawns while you're collecting your resources. Now, go ahead and place down 4 temporary blocks right about here, place down 2 to the right, and then place down a dispenser facing upwards. Then we can break these temporary blocks. We should see that the dispenser is right above the center of our little hole here. Now go ahead and place down 7 slabs on the top part of this block in every single direction. And then go ahead and fill in the corners just like we did for that bottom area down there. There we go. Should look something like that when you're finished. Now I'm going to place down trapdoors on the floor in a very specific pattern, and you're going to have to copy that. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a moment. So here we are. This is the pattern of the trapdoors you should have on each of your platforms. So go ahead and you can pause the video here and get a nice look. If you want aerial view, directly from the bird's eye, here it is. Now for our next layer, we're basically going to do the exact same thing. We're going to place down 3 blocks right here, a dispenser facing up, and we're going to copy exactly what we did down in the bottom here. So there we go, our second layer is in, and the next important thing we have to do is head to this first layer, and above each of these blocks right here, we're going to place down trapdoors all on the tops of the blocks here. What you should see is that there's a little disconnect between the bottom of the slab and the very top of the trapdoor. And go ahead and place this all upon the very bottom of this layer, above the other layer. And there we go, an entire layer of trapdoors has also been placed here. So now the next step is to basically continue this where each one of these floors of slabs is a layer, and you want about 8 total layers. So here's the first 2. I'll go ahead and continue this all the way up with these trapdoors on the bottom of each of our layers. Also, You can also make this smaller if you want a little bit of reduced rates. Again, this thing does produce quite a lot of gunpowder, and if you don't need that much, it's okay if you only want 2 or 3 layers here. But I'm going to make all 8. And there we go. Here's every single layer completed. So I've got 8 layers of slabs, 8 layers of trapdoors, everything. Now here at the roof, you'll notice that I have the trapdoors up, but not the slabs. And so we need to construct a proper roof for this thing. And to do that, first step is to place a dispenser facing up in the center of this little area here, and then go ahead and place down 14 blocks, or 14 slabs in each direction. But instead of like we did with every other one of our platforms, we're going to place them on the bottom part of the block right here. And then, just like every other platform, we're going to go ahead and fill in these corner areas here. And there we go, the whole roof has been completed, and if we were to leave this area, creepers are going to spawn in here. Now we still need to do one more thing before this farm is fully operational, and that does involve heading into each of these individual layers. So what we're going to do is start with the top layers. We're going to head in here, grab our observer blocks, and our water, we'll need both for this, and we'll go ahead and break the trapdoor right above this dispenser. Then we're going to place a observer facing upwards, like so. It may be difficult to place, might take a little bit of positioning, but you will want it to be facing upwards, like so. You should see this end of it. And then on this layer, what we're going to do is we are going to put in a water bucket into this dispenser. Now on the next layer, we're going to do pretty much the same exact thing with the observer, but with the dispenser, instead of putting a water bucket in there, what we're going to go ahead and do is place down a water bucket, so, and grab ourselves a bucket that is empty, just like so, and go ahead and put it inside of this dispenser. So what we're going to do is we're going to alternate this pattern, just like we've been doing, and do this for every single floor. And there we go. It should look something like this when you're finished. So what we've got is we got water down here, then no water, water, no water, all the way up to the top here. Now the dispensers that have water already on them, they have an empty bucket in them, and the ones that don't have a full water bucket in them. Now on the top of our build, we're going to head out with a space of 1-2 blocks out to the right. Go ahead and put a slab right here, head out the same amount of space again so we get a shape sort of like this. And what we're going to want to go ahead and do is put a comparator facing outward on this one, facing outward on this one, facing into a block here and here, with redstone dust on top. Then we're going to place a torch on this left one, so that we hear that splooshing sound, which is how you know you've done it correctly. And then go ahead and place down 2 hoppers facing into each other here. Then place down 2 sticky pistons on top of these blocks right here, with a redstone block on top. Then go ahead and put a order stack, so 16 items of any item. I'm just using normal building blocks right here. And then the last step is to go ahead and put a lever on the side, and you can click this when you want to turn the machine off. So right now the farm is on, and you should see that these waters on the platforms will sort of switch. So that platform that now has water on it used to not have water on it before the switch, and vice versa. And you'll see down there, all of the creepers will funnel in into that killing platform right there, and the drops go into those chests. So the final step here is to build an AFK platform so you can sit there and generate gunpowder. So I'm now in front of the collection system for the farm, and basically try and align yourself 1 block away from the top so that if you go straight up, you won't collide with that boundary on the side. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is place down 2 stacks of scaffolding right here, all the way up above the farm. So now at the top of our tower up here, go ahead and place down 15 or so glass blocks towards the center of our farm here. The exact amount depends on where you place your scaffolding, so here you just want to make it to where you're directly above that dispenser down there. Then go ahead and put a little 3x3 cube, or not a cube, but a square, around this spot right here, again directly above the dispenser, and go ahead and build a little enclosure so that you can't get damaged by any mobs up here. And then, finally, go ahead and close it off, and place a door in the front. And this is going to be where you can AFK safely away from any mobs. And that's really all there is to it. You can see the creepers falling down there, getting farmed out, and the ones that are spawning on the platform shortly after do get pushed out along with them. And again, the whole process repeats itself, and you can get upwards of 450 gunpowder per hour. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't be afraid to leave a like, and you can subscribe for more content just like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.